Check. Guys, tune in. Send this around to your friends. The whole month, we're talking mindset, psychology, issues, and barriers, how to get over obstacles. Today is we need to be not we go play in a minute. All right. Tuning in. from Spain this time. I think what last time we were in Portugal. Let me see if I can switch this to something a little bit nicer.
Just you.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm trying to figure this out. Is that's weird, right? Should we do it side by side? Let's do it
This
this way.
works.
We never do it this way. Let's do it this way. Switch it up, guys. We've got Emma and James as usual. I'm gonna just move this over here. Emma is going to be reading the comments along. Today we're talking about ego and needing to be right, and the actual cost of needing to be right. And it's a little bit more than you think. There's two goals with trading, I suppose. Is one is to make money, and two is to feel like we're accomplishing something. And that's a huge problem that a lot of traders have. Is they want to know that they're doing the right thing. And isn't it funny how we always talk about something that is currently relevant? Okay. And let me button up my shirt slightly just so I can be slightly more professional. The hunter way is to have the shirt ripping open. But guys, I experienced this today. On live stream, I was right. I swear I was right, and got the trade idea right, but still lost money. And from there, I ultimately okay, I have to fix this now. I have to find a solution because I know I'm right. I have to prove I'm right. I'm on stream and I'm trying to give away this money. We're doing a new series, by the way, where at the end of the week, we're giving away all the profits that we make, sponsored by Maven, of course. Maven is covering all the losses. So that $2,000 I lost today, thank you, Maven.
Can you do that for me, Hunter? You can give all the money away to me and cover my losses. I'll trade with Maven anytime.
I think we can cover your Maven trading losses.
Yeah.
And so hopefully you guys in the comment section have some questions ready about this sort of stuff, like how to handle your mind and your ego. And I want you to start thinking about that all month long. Next week, we're going to have Louise back in here. We're going to be having her join us every second Tuesday of the month going forward. In the meantime, let's actually just show you the chart. I've got, just in my mind here, I mean, there's a lot of lines here. I'm going to show you guys just so you can kind of see, okay, what could have gone wrong today? For if not, I was able to manage at least okay my ego. All right. Now I did make a mistake and that's all right. And now I'm sitting here kind of beating myself up a bit, but I didn't blow the bank. And that's the major thing with trading is we need to know when we're wrong and we need to know how to get out. So the reality of today was on stream, we predicted, hey, it was going to dump after a rally up to this weekly level. So we had this weekly level that we wanted to touch, and we almost got there. So for some reason, it's just a little bit more. I was like, okay, I'm going to leave it running to that weekly level because I know it's going to hit the weekly level, right? And ultimately, then it dumped, and it caused me to close for a loss. The next trade I took was now a short because, okay, I was like, okay, now the shorts are in play because it already set. I'm assuming that level was now satisfied, right? So then I took the short and it went against me again. Okay. Now the thing that a trader who was better than me would have done is probably have waited here for that actual level to be hit and then just be patient because I felt like I needed to be right. I felt like I needed to win a trade today, show everyone that I was this trader that I say to be, despite actually being more or less right already and losing money. So that's a really big pain point. So then we chase it, guys. We tried to take this short and ultimately it goes against us again. Luckily, some ability that I've slowly been able to train over time is after I start feeling this emotion of needing to prove or needing to catch up, what I do is I end the day, right? And I knew that my stop was somewhere up here. I decided to end the day early and get out and accept that loss. And we did take a larger loss here, but that's the triggers that I want to get into your minds for the end of this call, for the end of this podcast, so you guys can start recognizing those same emotions and know when to end your day and move forward. Now, James, how was your day today? Was it better than mine?
Yeah, I'm green on the day, but I'm trying some shorts here. So let's see what happens. It's not looking too great at the moment. I'm down 2 points, so nothing big. But yeah, I'm green so far. I had actually the shorts on the DAX in the London session. So let's see how it goes. We're not getting a good close here on those shorts that I did like. So probably might cut them here. But yeah, I'm green. I had the shorts on the DAX. I actually took them live on stream. Yeah, green on the day. But again, I think, as you said, like wanting to be right is or look good on stream definitely can be a bit of an impact, right?
Yeah, totally.
Actually, a bit of momentum. I'm going to cut this trade. Yeah,
you're going to cut this trade now.
Yeah. I'm going to cut it. Yeah, I'll look for re-entries.
So this is what I want to ingrain in the whole audience. It seems like both myself and the NASDAQ absolutely ripping up now.
Yeah.
Myself and James, we're really trying to chase this trade today that we thought, hey, shorts are in play for sure, and it's going against us a lot. James, what sort of signs and indications were present for you to just cut that and accept that loss then?
Yeah, well, we're getting some momentum to the high side now, right? We're not taking out a new high of day, but we are getting some momentum. So I don't want to be in this trade if it continues going higher, which we're obviously getting. I think maybe some high impact news or breaking news coming out as well. I mean, things are just ripping right now. So just as soon as I entered, it went against me. I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. It's not working. Our base trades normally work instantly for us, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Then let me jump this back to the screen there. Yeah, that is an interesting point, that if it's not going in your favor immediately, then maybe it's time to get out and not try to hold on to those losers. Yep. And for me, I recognize very much the emotion I'm feeling, the worry. That's what I'm trying to pay attention to. The hope that it comes back in my favor. That's a really strong emotion that is present for me. If I'm hoping that I'm going to be right soon, then that's a huge issue, okay? And that's how I know that I should just end the day and move on and wait for tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
today was a big loss for my personal account as well, just because I kept trying to get back in on those trades. Now
there must be some breaking news here. I'm going to look at some news sites here. There must be something.
Go ahead and look at the news right now, because I think the crazy thing is when both of James and I both think that it's going to go one direction, we're usually quite right.
Exactly. We had a nice trade last week, Friday actually on stream. So yeah, a little bit of a quick loss there. Jeez, that was quite quick. But you can't be right all the time. So I think you actually said it best. I think on stream you actually said that every single trade you take, you expect to be wrong. You know.
Yeah, and that is it's an interesting change of the mind, is when you're expecting to be right versus managing your risk on the other side, right?
Yeah.
If you go into a trade and you say, hey, I'm going to manage my risk appropriately, you're more likely to have a good experience with trading. Whereas if you go in and you're thinking, hey, I need to make money, I need to do this, I need to show that I know how to trade, like the experience I'm having right now is very much because I'm trying to show that we can make money by the end of the week, and then that we can do these live trading giveaway things that I've got running, right? And that puts more pressure on somebody to actually perform and show that they're actually doing well and not actually trade appropriately. So it seems like there's a lot of different signs and triggers that you can use, and it's really a matter of, are we trading for the sake of trading, or are we trading for the sake of, hey, I've got something to prove, hey, I need to, like, the reality is, I think a lot of people who are trading are not actually trading because they need the money. You wouldn't be able, like, there's a lot better ways to make money instantly, I think.
Yeah, and a lot less stressful ways, for sure.
A lot less stressful. I really hope nobody in the audience, I wonder, Emma, is anyone in the audience, you think, we'll ask them, if anyone in the audience is is trading for the sake of making money today. You know what I mean?
Ooh. Okay,
Right?
audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let Emma know what you're doing in the audience for the sake of trading, right? Are you trying to make money later? Are you trying to build a skill? Trying to make money today? Or you're just playing a game? You know what I mean? And I think that's largely the issue that we get caught up on is we're either trying to prove ourselves to somebody, right? Because no, I don't think anybody's actually trying to make money today, right? Because that's not very useful, right?
Yeah.
So it's really a matter of ego in that moment.
Yeah.
Mad Max says he has a weekly target percentage. Stay focused as he trades because he's lazy about working out.
Trades because he's lazy about working out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah.
That's the reason for trading.
Now,
Not else through yet. Nope. Someone says they trade to build a life in the future. I think that's a good one.
yeah, good. We found at one of these conventions there not too long ago that a lot of people trade because they want to learn a skill rather than money, right? More people are trying to learn this new skill rather than trying to make money, the skill that ultimately will make money in the end. So it's important to really recognize each day in and day out is, okay, why are you trading? What is the purpose of you trading today? Is it to make money today, or is it to build that skill, right? And then this is going to help you not focus on trying to win every single day. I am currently today in a position where I very, very much want to take another trade. And the more, this is a really good indication that you should not be trading. It's the more I want to trade, the more I feel like I need to be trading, the more I need to not touch the chart, because now I'm going to do something stupid, right? Because I'm going to chase and try to prove, because I'm trying to catch up. And this is that over trading thing that everyone talks about, or cutting, not ending the day early, not cutting your losses, not accepting your losses, all this jazz.
Yeah, trying to be right. You can be right or you can make money. I don't think you can do both. You got to drop the ego. I think a lot of being right, trying to be right, is also like an ego thing. Like you said, Hunter, like you're on stream, like, oh, look at me, I'm gonna be having a winning day on stream. Like trying to be, a lot of guys can get caught up in that. A lot of traders. Yeah. We did have breaking news, by the way. It was unscheduled breaking news. That's what pumped everything up higher.
Oh yeah, what was it?
It was Trump saying something on tariffs. I want friendship with Canada. So
yeah,
happy days for you guys. But I use Financial Juice, by the way, for breaking news events. Just out of interest.
So here is a beautiful example. Then I'm so glad that actually came to be true. Is both of us are very good traders. Both of us sit here and we say, I know it's going down. I'm quite certain it's going down. Everything is still telling me it's going to go down, but it's going up, and it's not showing any sign of stopping going up. So I could continue to try to chase this, adding to it, getting in and out, trying to play the game to prove that I'm right today. Be like, okay, I finally got that trade, and I finally made that 10% back of what I just lost. So okay, I can walk away for the day. But the reality is, the bigger and bigger that loss gets over time, the more I'm going to feel like I need to trade today.
Yeah.
And the issue is exactly what we just heard. Trump just said something stupid about wanting to be friends with somebody. Boom. Right?
He wants to be friends with you guys. He wants to be friends with the Canadians.
And let's get real.
That's changed his tune.
That is a ridiculous thing to say. That means nothing. Absolutely means nothing.
Yeah, so it does mean nothing. Yeah.
Want to be friends? It means nothing. It doesn't. There's no agreement there. I think there was one day. What was it? It was the bottom, right? It was the bottom when he said something about the tariffs being off, and then it just spiked absolutely insane. And these days are the days that, hey, I don't know what to do now, right? And accepting that, hey, I just took that loss. I can't be right today. And maybe that's the better way to go about it. is going into the market and saying, I was wrong and I can't possibly be right now. I have to accept that I am wrong and I do not know how to be right today, rather than trying to fix the wrongness, right? I know a lot of our audience are, we're very analytical, smart people. All of you guys in the audience, very, very smart people. Otherwise you wouldn't be in the trading world, right?
We'll saved.
And yeah, exactly. Everyone super, super smart, right? And you guys want to figure out how to fix the problem, and that's why everyone's on the chart, right?
Would you say, Hunter, in your experience, would you say, like with the guys that I've worked with in my coaching program and everything like that, the guys that struggle to not accept losses are actually the smartest people, like your doctors, your lawyers, your accountants, because they've been so good in other aspects of their life that they actually can't fathom that they can't be wrong just one day in one trade, and then one trade knocks them all back for the whole week.
Yeah, and that's actually so dead on right. Is the best traders are those guys that, the stoner types, believe it or not, the guys who just don't care. Like whatever, like if you act like money does not matter, then it's a lot easier, because you're like, $100 gone. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess, there was a funny gambling guy that I like to watch on online. He said something funny. He says, if you take a loss, you didn't take a loss. You just add that price to the last thing you bought. So if you lose $100, and you just went out and bought a coffee, well, you just bought $110 coffee. You know what I mean? And it was, it's an interesting way of putting your mind. I know it's that he's a gambling guru sort of thing, but in the trading world, to be able to apply, say, hey, this money is already gone because it's in my account. It's not going to change my life in any other way. So that is already an expense I've put down, and the only option for me is to be able to make profit eventually, maybe. So we're going to manage that risk.
Sure. Yeah. Is there anyone in the chat that struggles with being trying to be right all the time? Yeah. I think Hunter, that's one of, like, in the beginning was one of, and still can be sometimes, one of the biggest ones for me and for many of the guys, because it's an ego thing, bro. Like, like we both, want to be alpha males and be right all the time, but you can't in trading. You have to drop that,
Yeah. I'm there's very few days at this point that I feel like I need to prove myself as a trader, because we've been in this industry for so long, and there's a very long backtrack. And I think if you're trying to be right each individual day, maybe keep your trading results private until you have.
You're right, dude. It's so much pressure, bro. Yeah, because if you're posting it online all the time, like, you are with your streaming, I am. Sometimes it can be quite tough, because you're like, shit, what are people going to think about me if I take a loss here, or whatever it is, or I do something dumb,
It's an interesting concept, because a lot of people, they get into groups and communities where everyone shares their wins, right? And that's really depressing, because it makes it seem unrealistic, similar to kind of, the Instagram and whatnot. The Instagram model is so beautiful. It makes it unrealistic when you're living your regular life and you're not this beautiful model, right? It's the same sort of idea, but for trading, right? Is that everyone's got these wins everywhere. Why can't I not make these wins, right? And it's largely, as great as it is to have that community to discuss, it's important to recognize that that community is all lying to you, in essence, right? Is in 50% of your days are going to be losses.
Someone's asking if the evil eye is real in trading. I think it's kind of funny.
The Turkish culture evil eye, or the blue eye.
The evil eye is across multiple cultures, but yes.
Yeah, Emma, break it down for us, because you're the history.
I mean, evil eye is just generally, if people, are jealous of you, you're gonna end up with some bad energy going your way, like, to make it very, very simplistic.
Oh yeah.
So in the sense of, like, when you guys were talking about hiding your losses, it makes, or not your losses, your wins and stuff, and your trading, it makes sense. because you're always going to have people around who unfortunately get envious, and it can throw off your balance and your healthy groups. So
I gotcha. Let's jump into some questions, guys. There's a lot going on in the trading market, and I want to see you guys' experiences with today and the past couple weeks, and accepting those losses. Any stories people have, or questions that we can get in on that. So Emma's going to read those off to us as she sees them fit.
Okay, you want me to read something off? That's all I heard. I was reading and listening at the same time.
Yeah, Emma, bring in some. If anyone's got a good story, I'd love to hear a story. If somebody can type,
we love stories.
I feel like today's a story of somebody doing. I want to hear how somebody in the chat was able to cut their losses and cut their ego, right? And that was the right move. You know what I mean? And I think that is the takeaway of this podcast is I want you guys to all look at what we did today, how it could have gone horribly, horribly wrong, and hopefully apply it into your future trading. And hopefully there's maybe another inspiration story.
Just a quick one before we get some more guys in the comments. But Hunter, like I think a lot of guys, one trading loss does not mean as much as we all make it out to be. If you just cut the loss, then like I did today, like you did today, you're gonna live to fight another day. You're not gonna blow your whole challenge in one go or lose the max daily loss in one day. Doesn't matter. Just move on to the next.
Yeah, it's true. I took 2 losses today, and then I actually took another trade that I closed out pretty quick here. Actually, before that massive spike there. So I actually took 3 losses today because I was doing exactly that. And I still, the reality is 3 is the absolute max. And now I'm upset with myself but also very proud of myself to be able to stop at this point and know that tomorrow is going to come.
Yeah.
Is that a story, Emma?
It's the first one I've gotten through that's kind of more of a story. Someone's saying they remember being the type of trader who always moved their stop loss whenever a trade was going against them, until one specific day they decided to close out at 0.5%. And after that, their trading improved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stop loss thing, bro. We all did it, dude. Jeez.
You know what? I want to challenge everyone in the audience. That's a very inspirational, a mini story, actually. Everyone moves their stop loss, maybe it'll go here, right? What I want you guys to do is actually close your trade before it hits the stop loss. And I just want to test you guys to see if that helps your trading. If you are struggling with too many trades hitting stop loss, maybe you're just at a break-even trader trying to push through to profitability, but something's not right. How about this? Whenever a trade starts to make you panic, and you're like, oh, that really does not look right, and I'm pretty sure it's going to hit the stop loss, close it. Just close it beforehand and see if that changes anything, because that's accepting a loss, and that's going to feel terrible. I'm going to tell you right now. And you're going to get pissed off when it goes in your favor anyway.
When it goes in your favor, yeah.
But the reality is, if you close out your losers at 50% of what they were before, you're going to have insane profits.
It's like in golf. Let's use a golf terminology here. In golf, they say it's not about increasing the number of good shots. It's about decreasing the number of bad shots to get better. It's the same as trading. It's not about trying to make more profits. It's about stop being an idiot, 50% of the time, and you're going to save yourself bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shayat here says they used to hold on to losing trades, hoping they turn around. And then one day they took a big hit because they refused to cut their losses. And that was their wake-up call. Since then, they started exiting trades the moment their setup broke. No hesitation, no ego. And they say their funny thing is they began losing less and winning more. Cutting losses didn't just save their account, it saved their mindset.
Yeah.
What a surprise, eh? What a surprise. You cut your losses earlier and you start winning more.
Yeah.
Isn't that remarkable? It's exactly what James was saying is you want to avoid losses, not try to make winners, right?
Yeah. Stop doing the dumb stuff more 50% of the time better. And, it's like, let's just say a trader made $50,000 in the year, but they had $100,000 of wins and $50,000 of losses. Well, they made 50 grand. If they just made less mistakes the next year and they lost $25,000, well, now they'll make 75 grand. So they'll increase their profits by not even trying to make more, but by losing less.
Yeah, by losing. Now, on the opposite side, if you started trading 50% more, you might end up with 150K profit, but your losses also go up. So you've not actually what you've actually done is, let's say your losses are now at 75 grand and you're at 150 grand total. Well, the same amount of profit might be there of 75 grand, but you've just increased the number of trades by 50%. So what's that cost you in slippage?
Yeah.
Commissions, overnight hours, that actually could end up being 50% more in commissions. And when I was early in my trading days, I actually found that I was a profitable trader minus the commissions. So if I was able to trade with fewer commissions somehow, I would have actually been way profitable way sooner.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've got another one here. They were saying their story that improved them was when they locked in and stayed away from social media, because there's so many traders showing off in the space that are either real or fake. So ever since they did that, that's helped them.
Wow. Interesting take, actually. Yeah. There is always that, especially as an influencer or some sort of brand, there is that temptation to, and I'm wondering from this guy is how is he able to still stay connected with the trading space while leaving the eyes of all of these, you know what I mean? Like, how is that possible to be able to balance having a community as well as staying away from all of this fakeness, right? And maybe it's just a matter of knowing that everything is more or less fake that you see online. I'm not sure.
I figured you'd appreciate that one because you're always talking about that.
I'm always talking about the numbers that some of these guys post and how it's all, it's like when you're trading on a prop firm, none of it's real money. You know what I mean? Like these guys aren't losing $100,000 in a trade. They're buying 20 accounts and then blowing it. You know what I mean? So they lost $1,000 in the accounts. They just blew 20 accounts in a row so that it looks like they just lost $100,000, 5,000 in each, right? So, maybe I start doing that and we can get some more attention.
All right. I think that's the general end of story time. So,
right. Let's get some actual questions here. We're going to do a little bit shorter stream today. There's not too much on this topic, I don't think.
A lot of people just generally want to know how they can stay away or avoid the need to be right. Like, I've gotten so many questions about that now.
Yeah. Stay away or avoid the need to be right. Okay, so
are there any practices that they can do? Anything that they should be aware of?
Yeah. Okay, so the question then becomes why you have to ask yourself, why are you trying to be right? Is it for, like, if you're on stream like James or I, like we obviously want to be right during that day because then people believe us that we're good traders and they trust us, right? I imagine most of you do not have that same sort of experience because you don't have to post your results. So one of the most key things is I'd say keep all of your trading 100% private. Don't even talk about your wins, right? Keep everything to yourself and just kind of study in silence, because that way you don't have the highs and lows of sharing that experience with others, right?
Yeah, that's solid advice. And also, I think comparison. Don't compare yourself. I would say someone was saying that they look online and all that type of stuff. I would say just focus on yourself. Again, like a lot of the traders that you see posting online and that, they might be trading demo accounts, or not even, you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. So there's been focus on yourself. Never compare yourself to anyone else, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what anyone else is doing. If Hunter makes 100 grand in a day, it doesn't impact my life. It's not going to change my life. If you can still provide for your family and that, then stay focused on that. Everyone's different. The Hunter's been doing this 12 years. Whereas like you're going to come in after 12 months and be like, geez, I need to be on the same level. That's completely, and it's actually delusional to think like that. It's stupid because it's like trying to compare, someone that's been doing something for 12 years and you've been doing it for 12 months. I like to use this example of getting a degree, because I'm quite a smart one, as Hunter said in the beginning. I've got a degree, but when I started my degree, you don't get the degree after 6 months. It took me a little bit longer. It took me 4 years to get my degree. I was playing rugby at the same time, so you don't get it after 1 year. No, you got to stay the course. It's the same as anything, and then. It's not like you finish a degree and stop and you become a CEO. No, you're going to stop. Maybe if you're going into corporate, you're going to start off at the lower end of the spectrum and move your way up. Same as trading. Like, it's if you can just maintain that or stay in the seat enough to actually give yourself a chance to see the profitability. So stay focused on your own journey. That's what I would say in terms of wanting to be right, wanting to compare yourself. I think a lot of it comes down to ego, bro. Wanting to be right is ego. Wanting to make more money than this trader, or trying to keep up with this trade, or keep up with the Joneses, as they say. It's all nonsense,
Yeah, totally. So then the question is, how do we control our ego? Is what's basically, because we recognize that the need to be right is the need to have your ego fed, right?
Yeah.
And there's lots of sort of deeper psychological things that you can dive into with ego, and a lot of them are not top of my head right now, but I've read a couple ego books, and when we tell ourselves a story about ourselves, we are a trader, right? Then we bond with the idea of that is our personality, right? So when we do poorly as a trader on an individual day, we personally get attacked. Our ego gets hurt because that's our identity, right?
Yeah.
So if you try to potentially change the narrative of who you are, maybe you're not a trader. Maybe you are somebody who practices good control. Maybe you are somebody who is learning how to trade, right? Maybe you are somebody who is you can tell yourself this story too, and it doesn't necessarily have to be true, but you can tell yourself, hey, I am the person that is amazing at getting out of losers very quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then start practicing that, right? And that way, the only thing that's going to hurt you is when you don't do the thing that you've told yourself that you are, right? Because if you take a loss, then, well, I'm the best at getting out quickly, right? And when you start to believe that to be true, now our ego can, we can feed our ego in different manners, right? If we want to keep that ego afloat, it doesn't have to be based around, hey, I'm a good trader. Maybe I'm just a trader that's playing around and I have good control.
I think you said that the best. I've spoken a lot about this as well on my streams and online and everything, is that when you attach your identity to something, and this is something that I found with my rugby career. So I played rugby right at a pro level. I bust money up and I couldn't play rugby anymore. I spent about a year trying to find my identity, because I put my identity in being this pro rugby player. Then when it got taken away from me, and whether that's for looking at high powers, whatever it is, you more than your trading results. Imagine putting your whole daily, your whole life in something that you do for 2 hours a day. Quite sad, actually, to be honest, because you're a lot more. Some people are, friends, husbands, wives, whatever you guys are. But I think that's probably where it comes from, not wanting to be wrong, because you're like, man, if I lose this trade, well, then I'm a shit person. But that's actually not true, far from it, actually.
Yeah, you get personally attacked when the story that you tell yourself is not holding to be true, and then we lose our identity, right? And without our identity, we are lost, right? And that's the fear that starts to come in, is, hey, I don't know who I am anymore, sort of ideas. Now we're getting really philosophical, I suppose.
Yeah. Getting really deep into this. Yeah.
Emma, a couple more.
Yeah. What do you think costs traders more, being wrong or needing to be right?
Yeah, well, I think that's the whole purpose of today's talk, no?
Mm-hmm.
Because being wrong is not a big deal. I'm wrong 50% of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe 40% of the time because I'm amazing, right? But being wrong is great. Being wrong is the best thing. If I wasn't wrong today, I wouldn't have remembered that. Oh yeah, when the 4-hour candle closes, that's not an immediate thing that I need to act on right now. The 4 hours is a pretty long time frame. I should be acting on the 15-minute right now, waiting for the level on the 4-hour to be hit. Right? If I didn't lose, I wouldn't have been reminded that I can actually be better. Right? So the thing that costs you more is your ego problem rather than, hey, I made a mistake. Now that's actually going to be beneficial for me in the future because now I'm going to be able to learn. Right? Do you agree, James?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I agree. Yeah. It's yeah, I agree with that. Nothing to add. I think we've actually touched on a few quite, I think, good points. I think this has actually been a good topic, although it's not maybe it can get quite deep at times, like philosophical, as you're saying. But it can. I mean, trading sometimes is deep for a lot of people because you put, as you said, like you put your whole self-worth in it. I think that's probably the worst thing to do.
We're gonna have on Louise next week, so hopefully she can help us.
Is she the if I'm not mistaken, is she the psychologist? I think I think we follow each other on Twitter. I follow the whole Maven team on Twitter. And
Oh, awesome.
She is an award-winning psychologist that we're gonna get back on once a month, and she's actually gonna help us help you traders learn how to control your mind, because again, that's why this entire month is on mind control and mind mastery, emotional stability. It's because it is by far the most important skill that you will ever learn for both trading and your relationships. And
I've actually just in the meantime, I've got back in the short. So if this is a winning trade, then I will get Hunter a free lesson with Louise.
There you go.
You know what? I'm pretty sure it's coming down.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I'm pretty sure it's coming down.
Okay, I'm putting my whole house on it. I'm putting my whole house on this coming down.
and I cannot. I'm not allowed to touch it anymore because there's no point. You know what I mean? That is the difference between somebody who is able to accept a loss and who's not at this point. I'm still just as confident, but I've messed up too many times that I can't trust myself anymore. You know what I mean? I can trust myself tomorrow, but today I am an insane egomaniac, schizophrenic, paranoid, right? And you cannot trust that emotion. So I need to walk away, and I'll come back.
So that's actually very interesting, Hunter, because I just got a question through about how can they handle being wrong tomorrow without shame or fear? Like you're saying, you'll be okay tomorrow, but
yeah, well, I'm not hurt tomorrow. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Tomorrow, I have lost 0 on the day. You know what I mean? And I get to reset my mind, right? And overall, I've made money, right? Over the past 6 months, I've made money, and I've proved that. Now, it might be different if we're talking, hey, I've not made money in the past 6 months. Well, then I'm going to tell you right now, you need to learn how to trade better, right? Because that's another issue in itself is do you have a profitable method, right? And the reason that I'm able to wake up again tomorrow is I know every single day on average I make this amount of money, okay? And today I've decided that I am not that person, okay? So tomorrow I will be that person again.
Yeah, you are very good at separating things. Like if something annoys you at all, you'll come to it the next day and you're like, nope, that was yesterday. That doesn't matter anymore. And it's a very interesting mindset because a lot of people can't do that, but it does. I can see how it'd be super helpful in trading.
Interesting.
I will say this, because we've spoken about this a few times. My trade's actually working out really, really nicely at the moment as it comes down.
He just wants to brag about his trade.
Yeah, so I got back in the shorts and it's paying off, so we'll take that. But yeah, I will say this is that we've spoken about this a few times on stream, and I think what has been probably the best thing in my trading journey, and everyone says, oh, well, if you make so much money trading, why do you do other things like make content, coach, do streams, whatever the hell it is because it actually is fun, first of all. You can make other sources of income from it. And lastly, because you're doing that, you don't put your whole identity in your trading results. You see, so because I'm doing other things and I'm making money for other ways, I'm not upset if I have one losing day because my whole identity is not in me being able to make money. So that's why we've spoken about trading full time and everything like that. That's why I encourage people. I actually never say to anyone, yes, quit your job. You've had 100 grand here last year, quit your job, go all in. Because it's a completely different ball game. I did it for full time for 2 years. It was extremely emotionally draining. And I always think you need to have other things to do because now, I had a losing day. But hey, wait a minute. I can actually go make some content. I can do the Maven podcast with Hunter, and I'm going to make some jokes and talk about how shit I am at trading if I've had a losing day. So it's that's I think is something to keep in mind as well.
And with that, I think that is absolutely beautiful. Exactly how we believe here at Maven is I tell everyone, do not ever trade full-time on your own. Just you need something else. And with that, I think we are going to wrap up. Is there anything major that you wanted to ping off, Emma, right before we go?
So, it's funny because I had a series of questions and that one big talk actually covered them all, which was great.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, it covered a lot of stuff, which was amazing. No, I don't think so. Although I'm sure the chat would disagree with me.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's click this. Every single Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we have Louise back on. She is an award-winning psychologist that is working for Maven and as our psychologist that's here to help you guys. So she's coming on. We're going to answer some questions. Whatever you guys got ready for her, bring it in. We can also talk about things about today. The whole month is mind mastery. So every single week, of course, Emma, there is a winner of a $50,000 Maven account. And if you do not win this account, you can go to maventrading.com and get yourself one as low as $13, I believe, or as high as too much. You could pay as much as you want if you wanted.
I'll be posting the winner up on my X account. Someone from X won today. The X chat was doing great today, which is awesome. YouTube chat, we love you too.
Love all the chats. There is a Kick chat, actually. I've been streaming this to my personal Kick as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I have not been paying attention to the Kick chat.
That's fine. The Kick chat.
Kick hates me right now.
The Kick chat is like the inner little quiet circle.
I should pull up the Kick chat next week. So
I think it's all fine. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.